everybody, it's Brooke with the Junk Parlor. I asked last week if anybody was interested in a DIY on how to make a cornstalk a wreath like the one you can see back here. I mean, I know you can't see all of it, but hopefully you've seen a picture on my page. And so I'm just going to go through and show you how I made it. I made a bunch of these last year, and I actually had my friend make one also, and we both came up with different methods on how to do it. I watched some Pinterest tutorials and then kind of put my own spin on it because I am not a wreath maker. I don't really know the proper way to do some of the things, so I just decided to wing it and do what I wanted. So the first thing that I did was I got some forms like this, and this one is actually from Joann's, and I just ordered it online. And hi Jeannie, I don't know if I have my Wi-Fi turned off, so it should be fine in here, but it might say we go in and out of service. It will record anyway. But the wreath in here I got from Joann's. It's a 10-inch green easy wreath, and I ordered these online, and I just got a box of them so that I could have a whole bunch of them to use. So the first thing you have to do is you're going to go out and you're going to get some corn stalks. And I knew it was going to rain last night, so I got these yesterday, and so you want to make sure, don't get them when they're wet. They're going to be gross. And there are certain times of year when they seem cleaner. I haven't really figured out what that is because I feel like I picked these earlier than I did last year, and these have a little bit more brown coloring to them. But in the whole scheme of things, they still look great. So I went out and I cut these down, and then what you do is you basically are kind of making an assembly line, and you're going to tear off all the leaves, and you just basically grab them, and they have a thicker part that's actually stuck to the corn stalk. I normally start at the bottom and just kind of work my way to the top. I do save the tassel, and I just put it in a bucket because these all together look really good in a vase. You can also separate them out and incorporate it into your wreath, which looks really nice also. And then all of these stalks I saved too. They're kind of like a piece of bamboo. They look cool stuck in like a milk can or something, so some kind of vase. I did cut down a few of the stalks that had green leaves on them, and when I bundle them up and put them on the wreath, I will try to systematically put the green ones. So there might be 3 green leaves, so I'm going to try and space them out so it's not 3 green in a section. So I still go ahead and use the green part as well. I just pull all the leaves off, and I do that for a ton, and then I have a basket down here. And so then what the next step is basically you're going to make bundles of 10. So I'm going to make sure and grab this green one just because I already had some green. And I need to make sure I'm counting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So sometimes I will make sure and put like 2 short ones in each pile. Sometimes, like today, I'm trying to make sure that I put only 1 green one if I have more green ones. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to hold it. And I've already decided kind of the size that I wanted. And like I said, I don't make wreaths professionally, so what I did with my bundles, then I took some twine and I tie them off. So I kind of see the height, and then, because I want them all to be the same length so that my wreath is symmetrical, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to grip it right where I want the string to go to bundle them together. And so then I'm going to take the twine and I'm going to tie it as tightly as I can. I'm putting my finger on the knot so it doesn't slip, and then tying it again. And then I'm going to trim my strings. I mean, the strings blend in, so it's not super, super important, but I go ahead and do it anyway. Some of the leaves are a lot thinner than the others, so I try and kind of pick that way too. Have an assortment. And then all of them have like a thicker piece here that was attached to the stalk. And so I like to lay everything out so that it's all facing the same direction. I keep those on there at this point so that I know which way their direction is, and it's just easier that way for me. And then because I'm doing something smaller, I'm doing them the size that you could put in your home. Like last year, I layered one over a chalkboard in my living room and had it above our fireplace mantle. So that's the next step. You're just going to go through and take all of them that you have torn off your stalk and bundle them up. And then you're going to go and we're going to cut off all this excess. Now, when my friend did it, she kept all this excess on. I don't even think she twined it. And she accentuated this end by placing it out. I am going to hide this end. So I'm going to go about 3 inches below where I did the twine and cut those ends off. And I already have some bundles made. Basically, there's 12 sections in your wreath. And so if we're doing 10 bundles, 10 times 10 is 100. So you're going to need at least 100 leaves for one. That one's a little long. And so then I'm just going to cut these off, and then I will have my 10 bundles. And I use just like branch trimmers to cut the corn stalks. And if you notice, I already took all the corn off. I saw a lot of very neat ones with the corn on, so you could totally do that. But I want to feed the cows with the corn, so I give it to my dad, and it makes your wreath a lot heavier to leave the corn on, and so I don't do that. Okay, so I have a pile here that you probably can't see, and I'm going to go ahead and start with this green one. And so I just pick a spot on the wreath. I'll turn this down. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Emily. Hi, Nelda. And of course, how I have my tripod. It's not going to let me go very far. Okay, so I'm going to lay it in here. And this is the one that I am putting it in. And this is where my twine is. And right now for me, the comments are right where I'm working. So if for you, the comments are right where I'm working, if you just swipe your finger on your phone to the right, that'll hide all of the comments, and then you can actually see what I'm doing. So, hint for you. So where I have the thread or the twine, I'm putting it in the wire teeth that I'm going to collapse onto it. And I'm putting the end, that extra 3 inches on the end, and I'm basically butting it up to the next set of teeth. And so you also, if you can see on that one, I kind of angled it, so it's not going straight out from the circle, it's going out at an angle. So then all you do is you're going to squeeze these two wire teeth that I'm calling them, and you're going to wrap them around. Now, after you do a few of these, if you're doing multiples, your fingers are going to get very tired from squeezing those darn things, and so you're going to have to use some pliers. But you just want to squeeze them as tightly as you can. Another thing to think about, these, I am making more for inside, and part of the reason is because, especially when they're pretty big, the wind's going to be pretty rough on them and probably break a lot of the leaves. So if you were going to put it outside, I would maybe go a little bit smaller, because I have one that's even bigger than the one that I had hanging up behind us. But I would go a little bit smaller and try and put it somewhere where there's not going to be a lot of wind. You know, some places around your house has a wind tunnel, and so you want to make sure that you don't put it in that spot. Okay, then how we're going to lay this is, again, my twine is going where my teeth are. The end of my stalk is going to the next set of teeth. And then I'm also covering up the end of the previous one when I do that. I'm also looking at how the leaves are laying, because if I go in here at too severe of an angle, I'm going to have a big gap, a big hole right here, and it's not going to look as good. So I want to make sure that I try and make it full. Now, a lot of that depends on how the leaves are curved in your bundle of 10. So just take that into consideration as you're laying it out. But for the most part, you can disguise about anything because the stalks are crazy and you can kind of shift them around even once you've done it. Okay, so I'm going to my next one. And this one's a little bit longer, so it's actually going in the next set of teeth. But again, I'm looking at how my leaves are laying. I'm putting the twine where the teeth are that I'm collapsing. Sometimes you're going to have bigger bundles, and the teeth are going to probably wrap around a couple times, or only wrap around once. Sometimes you're going to have some smaller bundles, and you can probably make it around a couple times. Okay, so I'm going to my fourth one. I think I'm going to make sure and grab one of these leaves bundles that has green in it. So again, twine is where my teeth are. And you want to make sure that you're getting these teeth really tight. Okay, again, if your hands are not strong enough, just use a pair of pliers to clamp that down, because otherwise the wind is going to shift it. Now, if it's inside, it's not going to be as big a deal. And then you just keep working your way around. Okay, I'm going to add another green one. Really, this is my most predominant green one, it looks like. The rest of these are just like babies. And when you're looking about filling them in, you can also kind of pay attention to which way the leaves are curling, and I'm flipping this one to kind of see which way is going to look better, and so I can make sure I don't have any big gaps or big holes. But you can also go back in the end, and it's easiest, I think, if you hang it up on the wall and kind of see where you might need to make some adjustments. So I'm throwing in another one here with some green. And I'm sweating massively because it's hot in here. Thought it was supposed to be raining all day, but that didn't happen. So this is our last one. On our last one, you're going to take your end bundle and you're going to tuck it under that first one that we did, okay? And so because the teeth are kind of sticking there in the way, there's a little bit of a hole, but we want to stick it under, put the rope where the teeth are going to be, and again, trying to pay attention so that we are laying it in there at a good angle so we don't have a bunch of holes. And then you can kind of shift them around. You can kind of see, maybe looking here, that you can see some of the green, but when you have it hanging up on the wall, you don't even really notice it. So this is the cornstalk wreath, and you can make your own adjustments to it based off of what you like. If you have any questions, you can just post them there, and I will go back and answer them by hand. But feel free to like and share this DIY video. And my shop is open next weekend, September 6th through the 9th at 802 North Haines in Centerville, Iowa. So I have this and other fun things in my antique shop. So thank you. Have a good day. Have a great weekend.